Hey friends, this is Marilyn from tarotclarity.com, and today I thought it would be very nice to do combination cards instead of a demonstration reading, but maybe just putting out a few cards and maybe to show what their combinations might mean. And to do this demonstration, I'm using the Erenberg tarot deck, which is not the typical deck that you're probably accustomed to seeing on my channel. I did review this deck a few months ago when I first got it, and in the months that I've had it, I like it even more than when I endorsed it. I'll put the review down below so that you can see every card. Now, one of the reasons I really like this deck is for its minimalist approach to the message. Now, it is based, as I think I mentioned, based on Rider-Waite-Smith, so you have to be familiar with Rider-Waite-Smith because it is minimalist, right? So it's not as, especially with the pip cards, it's not as fully demonstrative of meaning as the Rider-Waite-Smith cards are. But it gives you like the essentials. Even if if you're familiar with the tarot deck, even if you didn't have the wording here, you could probably figure out that that's the Strength card. What's this? Okay, for Temperance, we have the Wing of the Angels, so we know it's a virtue, and we're familiar with the pouring of the liquid from one vessel into another. Three of Batons. Okay, so we have somebody who has a telescope, so you can envision that this is somebody who's not a telescope. So you can envision someone who's looking at a distance from time to time. Maybe he's waiting to see something, right? Or she. Wheel of Fortune. Everybody gets that. We have the Empress, and so we have the message of the pomegranate of the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, right? And we see the wheat. The Devil. Well, that's pretty straightforward. Oh, okay, and the Seven of Cups, right? And that's a good card to show. I have an idea to use this card to show a combination of cards. So let me get a few combinations put together, to come up with a shorthand. Now, you may not interpret this, as I do, and I don't read these cards like Lenormand. It's not like I'm using it as a Lenormand deck. But sometimes when you see combination of cards, they speak like a sentence, right? So it flows, right? When you have 3 or 4 cards in a tarot spread, if that's what you're doing, and a couple of cards speak really closely to each other, that's what I'm trying to get at. I know I got a lot of hate once when I tried to show demonstration of how cards can enhance the meaning of one another, and boy, I got some hateful responses. So I'm not suggesting that we read our tarot cards like Lenormand cards. I'm just suggesting that sometimes some combination of tarot cards really are a catalyst for one another. It'll be better to demonstrate, and I'll stop talking. And I do want to, before I get further, I do want to thank all of you who reached out to wish me well in getting better. I'm still struggling with the pain. I'm taking meds around the clock to help subdue the pain. I am seeing a doctor on Tuesday. Today's Thursday, so I just have to hang in there till Tuesday. And, I'm going to be on the mend. I just know it. So thank you for all of you who've been wishing me well. Thank you. Okay, so let me come up with a few combination cards, and we'll have fun with that today. Okay, so this will be a brief video. There's only a few. And as I said, I don't read cards like Lenormand. I'm not suggesting to use your tarot deck like a Lenormand deck. But sometimes when cards are in combination with one another, I don't know how you would not notice certain things. Now, everything depends on the context of a question. But, if there's a power struggle at work or something like that, or if This would show a power struggle at work. For example, if the question was work related, or you're wondering why, you're not advancing, or there's trouble at work or something like that, or even in the home, and you were to have two cards like this appearing together in a spread of multiple cards. But if they appear together, it could suggest a struggle, like a power struggle. It could be between the secular and the spiritual. It could be an inner struggle within yourself. It's not just necessarily a power struggle at work with other people, but it could, depends on the nature of the question, and that's how you would apply it. But if I were to see these two cards together in a reading, I would, and just, and looking at all the other cards involved, but I think I would notice these two together, for example, and suggest that there's some type of struggle, either between the secular and the spiritual, or just in general, some type of power struggle. This one, I didn't even put these two together. They came out of the deck like this, and I thought, wow, isn't that interesting? So here with the 5 swords, we have two hands at odds with one another, one person trying to prevent something from happening, prevent another person from doing something. But you notice they could be hands from the same person too. So it's either a person trying to stop someone else from doing something, and it could be a person having inner conflict trying to stop him or herself from doing something. And then we have the 10 of Cups, which is a different suit altogether. And we have hands from child, mother, father, child, parent, right? So, and a rainbow, So if I were to see, this is a very compelling combination of cards in a spread with other cards that would suggest whatever conflict, whether it's within yourself or with someone else, seems to get worked out, or seek support from your family, something like that. Now, I thought this was a real interesting combination of cards. We have the wish fulfillment card, and here we have all the things that are available to us sometimes, or all the things we seek, like Nightmare Alley, all the things we think we want. We want this now, and if we only had that next, and if we had that next. But this combination of cards, if you see it together with this deck, might bring to mind the idea of be careful what you wish for. Right? Now, there would be the context of the question being asked, and of course, there would be other cards in the spread. So please, no hate mail about trying to teach people to read the tarot as though it's Lenormand. I don't do that. I never endorse it, but I think sometimes cards together you can't ignore. They're dynamic. And these two, I think I had it this way. I thought that this was a powerful reminder that sometimes and this almost looks like a Magritte painting, doesn't it? Almost looks like something you'd see Magritte paint. So I think it's lovely. I love this image. But it's like you have to ride out the storm to get, to get the success or the feeling of getting through it. When you're in hell, keep going, right? And I just love this combination together. Just when you're going through something, sometimes you have to go through it to get to that accomplishment that you're working towards. Sometimes you just want to give up. And it's like sometimes very dark right before it becomes very great. And I think this is a nice combination to see, to remind someone not to give up. And you have to weather the storm to get to this point of accomplishment and success and celebratory status. So this video was short and sweet. I hope it's been helpful to you. Again, I'm not endorsing reading tarot cards as though they're Lenormand. And these cards I'm reading in isolation. You can be reading it in like one of my big spreads with 13 cards or 3 or 4 cards in a row. But sometimes when you see combination of cards, they work off of one another. I think it's hard to ignore, and I think sometimes we just have to remind ourselves to look at the cards that are surrounding each other, and always put it in the, my advice, you don't have to take it, but my advice is to always put it in the context of the question being asked, find the connection to the question being asked, and probably a few other things, but it escapes me at the moment. I hope you have found this video helpful. Until next time, friends, peace, be well, and thank you very much again for all your well wishes. I sincerely appreciate it.